Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching Young Sheldon. This is a 9th episode of the 4th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you like to watch today's full episode, it's available for free in a link in the description below. Just click in it, put the password in, and enjoy. So, last episode was interesting. You know, Sheldon, he's starting his time at the university. You know, he went and chose that one because Dr. Sturgis was there. He's supposed to be looking after him, and you know, he got a phone call telling him that he's no longer going to be teaching there. He's taking a job on the Super Hadron Collider, and he's going to have to, you know, take classes with somebody else. Now, the new teacher, you know, was Charlie Sheen's girlfriend in 2.5 Men. Actually, not girlfriend, it was his stalking next door neighbour. She was pretty funny, but here, you know, she kept posing questions to Sheldon like, is this real? And I understand, you know, science is supposed to be a thing about searching for the truth, for the facts. But every time he asked her a question, she was questioning, basically, is this reality, this realm that we're currently living in, the right one? Do you know what I mean? Are we awake or are we asleep? It was confusing Sheldon so much that he basically wanted to stay bedbound. He just lost interest in everything, basically. He was like, look, what's the point of me going to university and learning when, you know, everything that we kind of doing doesn't really make any sense? I don't know if I'm living or if I'm sleeping. You know, it's pointless. And he spent all episode trying to persuade him to get back on his side. He was even going to change subjects as well. You know, Dr. Linkletter was sat in front of him and he's like, look, do you really want to change your major? You know, like your scholarship that you're on, people have funded it. You know, I don't think the upper, you know, hierarchy are going to be happy that you're going to be swapping it. And Sheldon, he didn't really care, did he? However, you know, in the moment, he blown like a little bubble, and it was, as it was floating through the air, his mind was going. He started thinking about all different things about string theory again. And it just happens in any situation, doesn't it, in the scientific mind? You know, you could be sat there 1 second, and you can see something, and then all the cogs are turning. And then by the time that bubble actually burst in front of him, he was like, looking back on science and ready, let's go. You know, so his resignation from his class was kind of short-lived, you know what I mean? But it's an interesting episode and did enjoy it. Thanks for checking out today. So if you do enjoy it, please smash the like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
What are you doing here?
I got a phone call. Apparently the head of the college wants to talk to us.
Well, it's better than what I thought when I saw you, which was, uh-oh, Meemaw died.
Sheldon's only been here a few weeks. I hope he's not in trouble already.
What kind of trouble? Did something happen?
Ooh, maybe it's from when I decided to...
Oh, good. No, you keep talking.
I would like you and your son to meet with a very important benefactor of the college.
You want the star quarterback to shake some hands with the boosters.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that. I didn't shake her hand, and she's the president.
What I'm asking you to do is to go to dinner, talk about science with a very nice and, more importantly, a very rich person.
I understand that you would like to put the novelty of my age and advanced intellect on display to raise some cash.
No, just sort of. Can I speak to you alone?
You give us a minute.
Very well. But if you're looking to see if my father will be a potential donor, you are barking up the wrong tree.
Look, I don't mean to put pressure on you, but there's a lot of pressure on me, so I'm going to put it on you. This university relies on donations for everything. For upkeep, for salaries, for scholarships, like the one your son is currently on.
I'll talk to him.
See, what I was going to say is, right, Sheldon's there free. Somebody's paid for a scholarship for him to be there. So you would think that under his terms and conditions of, like, the donation, that he would have to attend some social events. You know what I mean? Like, if I was going to Harvard and somebody paid for me to go there, you would think that they would be like, look, when we do have these networking events, or we have these dinners, or, you know, we have to go to these charity balls or whatnot, like, you have to go. You know, it's under your contract, so to speak, that, you know, your donation is great. We want to provide the education for you, but we also need people to show that the school's doing well and where people's money's going. And you know, you would think that 1 or 2 events a year for a free university, you know, like degree, so to speak, that he's getting would be you know, would be a good compromise. But also as well is these guys pay for equipment for the school as well, so like for the science lab and for the books in the library that he uses all the time. So like, I mean, obviously the school should have money itself, but without people doing hefty donations, like she was saying, like, how's Sheldon going to get new stuff, new lab, new books? You know what I mean? Like, you have to look at it like that as well.
So, there's this thing at school I really want to go to. A school function.
What kind of function are we talking about?
You know, just the normal kind. With some kids and some music?
You know you can't go to a dance.
What if I promise not to dance?
So you expect me to believe that you are going to go to a dance with your friends. They'll all be dancing while you just stand there.
Where are we eating tonight?
It depends. Why don't you look in the glove box and check on the Tums?
There's 5.
Oh, my.
Who gets Tom number 3?
Me? They're my Tums. Now, what do you think young people talk about on their dates?
I don't know. But my knee's telling me it's gonna rain this weekend.
Come on, Sheldon. Think of it as a free dinner.
I'm a kid. All my dinners are free.
Sheldon, donors like this are very helpful for the university. They pay for all the science equipment and your scholarship. What's to think about? It's a night of you showing off how smart you are.
What's your problem?
Did you ever go to a school dance?
One or two.
How'd you get Mom to let you?
Easy. Didn't ask her.
Why can't we have a fun religion?
I don't think there is one. Come with me. Here.
What is it?
It's a good film, Footloose.
Cool. What other tapes you got?
Nature films.
Yeah, sure, nature films. Before they watched that, you know, I never realised that, you know, if you baptise, you couldn't actually go to, like, social events and dance like this, you know. I've said it many times, but I'm obviously not a religious person, so when I watch things like this, you kind of learn new things. Like, I just never even heard of it before. Like, so she could, the way her mum was saying it is like, you could go to the dance, but, well, she's basically trying to say, Mary, so you're telling me that you're going to go to the dance, you're going to be there, you're going to listen to the music, but you're not actually going to dance. And that translates to me is that you could go there if I believed that you wouldn't dance. So why is the dancing part so bad? Like, what is, you know, what's the religion say to that? And why, do you know what I mean? Like, why does, you would think as well, like in the religion or something, like when you got rules that you follow and stuff like this, you would think that, I wouldn't say it's got criteria, but you would think that the younger you are, the lesser strict you would be, you know what I mean? And I also feel like by not letting it go, it kind of alienates yourself, do you know what I mean? It kind of hinders her happiness at being in the school. It removes herself from social equations. I understand where Mary's coming from, it's their religion. However, like, you know, when kids are at a young age, it deters them away from the religion, in my personal opinion. Say, for example, every week all her friends was going out, enjoying themselves and playing and bonding and all getting closer, and she was sat at home and she couldn't go. It's going to make her kind of resent the religion she's following, you know what I mean? Because it's got all these restrictions in place, and she's so young that, like, she doesn't kind of get it. She just sees, one, this religion's not letting me do anything, and if I wasn't religious, I could do all this fun stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, surely there's got to be some sort of moderation.
Just got a phone with President Hagemeyer. This guy we're going to have dinner with sounds pretty interesting. Don't be insulting.
What if he says something I think is ridiculous?
Keep it to yourself.
What if you just said something I think is ridiculous? Because
Okay, maybe we need to work a little on your conversation.
They have to do a trial run, don't they?
Not calling people out for saying stupid things.
June, it's Connie Tucker.
Hey, Connie, how are you?
I'm good.
Am I seeing you Saturday night?
There, I mean, it is your son's wedding.
Oh, it's his second wedding. Those barely count. Besides, I'm bringing a date, too. Come on, it'll be fun.
See you then.
Bye.
Okay, Sheldon. Try having a conversation with Billy about science.
what do you know about quantum mechanics?
My dad's a mechanic.
Interesting. You know what else is interesting? Quantum mechanics. That describes the basic particles and forces that make up reality. Let's talk about that.
I have a nightlight that looks like Spider-Man, but I don't turn it on.
Go ahead.
Why don't you turn it on?
I'm afraid of spiders.
What did David do? What did David do?
David danced for the Lord with all his might.
Too bad it's from Footloose that Pastor Jeff warned us about in his talk on the sins of cinema. You show your sister Footloose?
Did it work?
No.
No.
Do you know, it's got me thinking, actually. Do you know, like we were talking about religion there, and he's saying that she can't actually engage in the dance. Like, and she's just said the sins of cinema. Are you allowed to go and watch cinema, you know, movies in the cinema? Like, can you go there and watch a horror? Like, where's, you know what I mean? So, for example, let's just say Mary, yeah, in 2025, would she, with her religion and how hardcore she is, be able to go and watch The Exorcist? Or is that a no-go? You know what I mean? Like, would she be able to go and watch What's that one that they go around now? The Terrifier. Yeah, you know, do you remember in that Terrifier 3 at the start when he goes in that house and kills that kid, mate? Crazy. But like, I don't reckon the way she's sounding it there, it's like they can't watch films, because it made me think back. Do you remember when she was watching that other one? And she was watching it when no one was home. Do you know what I mean? That was like a secret thing. Like, maybe they can't even watch movies.
You're shaking his hand.
Then it's a good thing I brought old Righty.
Because you don't make a good impression by being afraid to shake hands.
Been to many weddings lately. Mostly funerals.
Yeah, those don't have an open bar. I don't know why I'm so excited. I'm paying for this.
Connie, Dale, this is Justin. He's my date.
Look at him, he's upset already, you could tell.
Much more fun than a funeral.
Gary O'Brien, the anti-static furniture king.
Hello.
Shocking to meet you.
Don't do that.
I had an obligation to fulfill. So I closed my eyes and thought of science.
An obligation to. The thing is, though, right? He had sex loads of times with Amy before they was married anyway. So, like, that's just probably in here for the bants, because we do know that they end up having it. Well, they had it more than once a year, but it started off as a birthday. You know what I mean? On birthdays.
You think I'm eating dinner with my mom on a Saturday night?
Guess I'm eating alone.
What about Missy?
She's not talking to me.
She talked to you if you just let her go.
You know I can't do that.
I'm just saying she's a good kid. Be glad she's still asking.
That's true as well, though, isn't it? At least she's asking. Good statement, that.
So how'd you two meet?
Oh, I've been cutting his mom's hair for years.
Actually, I'm about to open a frozen yogurt shop.
Frozen yogurt, right. Isn't that like crappy ice cream?
We consider it a
Healthy option, yeah.
What's your problem?
Yeah, what is your problem?
Who said I had a problem?
We did.
You're being rude.
My ultimate goal is to one day devise the grand unified field theory.
You're one of those, are you? Kirk-Gödel's incompleteness theorems eliminate the possibility of a unified theory.
That's interesting. Tell me more about how Einstein's life goal was nothing but folly.
Before we go into that, like, Sheldon can have a conversation with this guy and disagree with what he's saying and be civil about it. You know, that's the whole point about having discussions, isn't it? You know, I don't know anything about science, so I'm going to use it in context of sports. You know, I can support Team A and you can support Team B, and you could say Team A has got a load of crap players and you dislike them all, and I could say Team B is the same, but then you could then say your Team B, though, has loads of players that have these qualities compared to Team A, and I could be like, I never considered that, and we could have a back and forth conversation on a civil level without upsetting people and make it sound like we're looking down on them and calling them stupid. And you can have that debate in an intellectual way, and that it would be a good way. Like, this guy would probably like if Sheldon was to have a scientific debate / conversation in a normal way, because is that not the whole point of learning? You know what I mean? Like, you pick something up that you never considered, but you know how Sheldon's going to be. Well, Sheldon's kind of rude, but like in a different way to how Dale is. Dale's just like rude in that situation to that guy for literally no reason.
She's thinking, why did I come here with this guy? Wait, no. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, you're mad at me, she's mad at me. It seems like it's all about me.
Well, you owe her an apology.
Like hell I do.
Then I'm going to do it for you.
Missy,
Go away, I'm not talking to you.
I know you're mad. I trust you enough to know that you will behave yourself. So just this once, you can go.
Thanks, Mom, love you.
I know on the surface Dale seems like a bully, but underneath, still a bully. Well, yes, but a little less of one. Can you believe that Dale thinks the only reason you brought him here is just to piss him off?
It will
That's
be.
exactly why I brought him.
Yeah.
Why would you go out of your way to upset Dale at your own son's wedding?
I don't know. He's my ex-husband.
Your ex-wife is a bitch.
I am so filled with love for you right now.
I believe we have
He
to
loves
work
it.
to gravity and its magnitude, and
I was really doing my best to hold it together.
it's fun. Not a lot of people I can talk to, scientist to scientist.
Not talking scientist to scientist. You're not a scientist. You're just a rich man that no one will be honest to because everyone wants your money.
Oh, don't listen to him. I mean, he's just a kid.
It turned out Gary did appreciate my honesty.
Oh, fair play.
The school got a generous donation. Father got Oilers tickets from President Hagemeyer.
50-yard line and free parking. Ooh, mama.
I got a brand new, state-of-the-art, anti-static lab chair.
Oh, mate, there's nothing worse than getting, like, an electric shock, is there? You know, sometimes you get it in elevators. Well, me, anyway. When I go to press a button, I'm like, fuck. You know, like, my hand gets, like, shocked all the time. But it reminds me of Family Guy. Do you remember when Peter was dressed up and he had that suit on? He's, like, moving across the carpet and just shocking everybody. Like, that's why I love kind of doing stuff like this, because it just makes me remember different things. You know, I've not watched like Family Guy or The Simpsons for years, but like, you know, something will happen and you'll be like, oh, do you remember that episode? And you just reminisce a little bit. I love to see it. However, you know, it looked like it wasn't going well just then for Sheldon, because the way he talked to him. But this guy probably has everybody kissing his ass consistently because he want the money. Like, you know, he can never actually engage in a proper conversation. Like, we didn't see the aftermath of that. He might have been appreciative of what Sheldon was saying, like I was talking about being healthy debate, so to speak. You know, Sheldon could disagree with what he said and do that in a non-insulting way that they can then carry on engaging in conversation. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, the guy was obviously, you know, appreciative of that. He enjoyed it, and he's actually donated money. So he's got a chair, he's got tickets, and the university have got money. It seemed to be a good ending to what looked like it was going to be a really bad situation. Okay, that is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You know, I actually like the relationship between Connie and, I forgot, like, Dale's ex-wife. You know, like, they seem to be friendly, but then they also kind of banter a bit about Dale. But then, you know, even if when he was like a little bit feuding there, he was like feuding in like a friendly way. Do you know what I mean? Like, they wasn't proper arsey with each other. They just had a disagreement. And to be honest, she probably did take him there, like she said, to upset Dale. But like, he brings it all on himself, I feel like, half the time. Like, he is pretty rude, Dale, in situations. He's dead arsey and dead stroppy. He's like a big baby. That's what I feel like anyway. And, you know, he was being disrespectful for that guy for no reason. That's why that whole kind of situation was brought on, wasn't it? However, you know, I wish we did get to see a bit of the wedding. The same way I wish that we got to see Missy at her school dance. You know what I mean? Like, we have it many times where you watch kind of programs and we have like an episode, you know, revolving around the situation, and then we get told about it but we don't see it. And you know, it doesn't end in that kind of, it's like when Leonard went to the Super Hydron Collider. He was gonna take Penny, but then Sheldon was moaning about it, and then he was considering it, and then they both got sick, and then he took Raj, and then we didn't actually see them at the event, just seen them in the hotel room. The same way, you know, they went to the Antarctic to do all this experiment, and then we was there for one episode, and then we was back the next. You know what I mean? Like, I wish we could see people in the environments, you know, see the wedding, see how they all react, see the dance. Did Missy dance, or was she there? Was she being good? Do you know what I mean? However, you know, I was saying there about obviously not being able to go to the dance because she's been baptized. That's what it sounded like anyway, that Mary was saying. That, you know, certain situations at such a young age, it will seclude yourself from, you know, events and being around your friends. And sometimes, like, when you are young, it can be a negative, not a positive. Do you know what I mean? It can make you look down on certain situations and not want to follow things because you feel like you're missing out. So there's a blend there, but it's good that Mary, you know, thought about the situation, listened to Georgia, and, you know, his statement that he said, you know, you should be appreciative that she's still asking instead of just going and ignoring you. You know what I mean? And Mary thought, you know what, he's probably true. And she said that she can go, so that was good. So it was a nice, obviously, happy ending for all involved. Thanks for checking out today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.